Hi everyone. We are moving on to the coloring part of self-portraits. Now you'll notice that I have colored some of my portrait already, but some of it I wanted to save so I could show you a couple tips. So you might remember when we did this in the fall, okay? So when we did this before, we were really careful to match the colors we use in our portraits with what we realistically look like in real life. So we used a mirror. So you can use a mirror in your house to match colors. So the first thing that I did was I don't know why, I always do my eyes first because they're kind of tiny and they're a good place to start. So what I did was I knew my eyes were blue, and you can see I have a tester sheet here. Remember we did this at school too, where we could test different colors. I tested out all different blues to see which one matched my eyes. And you can see right here, I decided on two different colors. If I blended them together, would give me my eye color. So you might have to take two colors and blend them together to get the color that you want. So I would start with eyes first. And then I wanted to do my lips, but I saved them so I could show you. So I tried out all these different colors for lips, and I decided on this color. Okay, so I wanted to show you, do you see what I did first? Was that I outlined the outside of my mouth, and then there's this line down the middle. I'm just going to kind of draw on that too, just because my pencil was gray, and if I outline it with the red, it's a little bit more realistic. And one of the things we've talked about when we've been coloring at school is we've talked about really trying to go one direction. So picking a direction. Do you want to go up and down? Do you want to go side to side? So I kind of go in this up and down manner. And when you get close to the edge, definitely go slower. And then when you're in the middle, you can go a little bit faster. But when you get close to the edge, you do want to go slow so that your coloring can stay right inside those lines. Now I rest my hand right on the paper. See how the bottom part of my hand is resting there? And I just move it back and forth, back and forth. And I'm going the same direction. If I were to all of a sudden start going sideways, that would give me some lines that would go all different directions and intersect. And it just is a little bit neater if you go one direction with your lines. And the other thing is you want to try and color with the same amount of pressure, so that if you start out coloring lightly, it'll be light. But if you start out color, and then you don't want to switch and do a section that's much darker. I want to show you something. So when I'm using this pencil, I can shade. Remember, shade is just using the side of the tip and going lightly. Or you can go like this and it's real dark. But when you do this and make it real dark, you have to press really hard. And guess what happens? When you're pressing really hard and gripping it really hard, your hand gets tired. But if you go like this and just do shading, I'm not pushing very hard at all. And I feel like I could do that for a lot longer without my hand getting tired. So consider shading instead of pushing really hard to get dark lines. Okay, so the tips so far that I have for you are, you might need to blend colors, use more than one like I did with my eyes. I used two blues. I did with the light one first, and then I did the dark one on top of it. The other tip that I had was outline the area. Okay, do shading in one direction. Now, I've already fooled around with hair colors. See all these colors I tried to figure out my hair color. So I have my pencils picked out. And I wanted to show you something where we've been talking about going in one direction with our coloring. And you can see I did that on the shirt, right? One direction of shading. But with your hair, it's a little bit different, because when you make your lines for the hair, you actually want it to look like your hair. So my hair on the top of my head kind of goes this way on this side, and it goes this way on the other side. So you can actually go different directions when you're doing your hair, because you want to kind of make it look realistic. So I'm kind of doing like lines for hair, and then my hair over here on the side of my head goes down. And I really had to blend some colors together to do my hair. So I'm not going to color it all the way in right now, but I wanted you to see that I go this way and then I go down from my hair, and I have some hair that's back here behind my neck too. So those are the darker colors, and I have some lighter colors in my hair. It's become a whole bunch of different colors. And so you might use some darker color and then go back and do shading to fill it in with a lighter color. It's kind of what I'm doing right now, filling it in with that lighter color. And then I even added some of this down at the ends where I have some of the real light in my hair. Okay, so do you see how that's working? If you press real hard, then it'll be hard to blend colors. If you're going to choose more than one, you have to really practice the shading, okay? So that they can have, so that they can show up with each other. If you do one really dark, it'll be really super hard to blend another color into it. Okay, so that's kind of what I did with my hair, and I'll leave it like that for now. Maybe I'll work on it a little more after the video. So that's what I did for that. And then you're going to want to pick a skin color. And I won't have you watch me color my whole skin color, but I have already chosen this color. Now, the big thing for doing our skin is that you're going to want to pick a direction and stick with that direction. First thing I'm going to do, though, is outline my nose, because my nose is skin colored and I do want it to show up a little bit darker. So I'm going to use this color and press darker there. Okay, I'm going to do like a diagonal stroke. Oh, first I'm going to do my eyelids too. And I'm just going to follow the curve of my eye with my eyelids. Okay, and then I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to do this diagonal. And I'm really going to do shading when I do my skin color, because I know I have a whole big face to cover in. And if you're shading and it's not too dark, you can color like right over your eyebrows. Don't forget your eyebrows will be the same color as your hair, okay? Or look at your eyebrows. If your eyebrows aren't the same color as your hair, pick one of the colors for your eyebrows, okay? Mine eyebrows are dark, so I did a dark color. You don't want to color in your eye, remember? The white part of your eye will stay white. Okay, so you'll do this diagonal or whatever direction you decide to do with your skin color. And if you're just shading, you can pretty much move your hand pretty fast. See how if you're shading, you can, and when you get close to something like your eye, see how I really slowed down? Okay. And you really want to fill in your white. So what I would do is I would color this, and then I might pause for a little while, and then I would go back and see if I can do any more to fill in white. Because when you go back over it, you can always find some of the white to fill in. We really want to be as careful as we can with filling in all of our white. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm not going to finish my whole face now, but I think you get the idea with the coloring of the skin tone. And that's one where you're really going to want to test out your colored pencils to match your skin tone. You are going to want to maybe blend some if you need to, but really test them out and hold it kind of next to your skin until you find one that looks close. So after you finish all of that, we're going to go on to the background. Do you remember how we've used a crayon on its side for many things? We're going to want to use a crayon on its side. So what you need is a peeled crayon. And then to do a rubbing. Okay, so remember, rubbing is where you push on the side of this, and you're going to go right around on your paper, right, to fill in your whole background. And see how I'm going carefully when I'm next to my skin? Or next to my hair, I mean, but when I get close to my portrait, I go slower. And I'm even turning my paper right? See how I'm turning my paper so that I can be close. There. Turn, turn, turn. And then you also want to kind of try and keep this at the same pressure. It can be challenging to do the background and get it to all be the same shade, but you're going to want to work with that a little bit. Okay. Okay. So when you think it's done, then you're done. I still have to go back and do some finishing, but we know that I'm not going to do it all right now. So remember these tips. Color in one direction. Blend colors if you need to. Use a mirror to help you decide. And really get out your pencils. You can see, look, I've had a whole bunch of pencils out. Get them out. Test them on a tester paper. Match them up to your hair. Match them to your lips. Match them to your eyes. See what colors look like your colors. Okay? Now, don't forget your neck. I didn't even do my neck yet, but I'll get to that. The other thing that I wanted to tell you is to take your time with this. I don't expect that you have to do this all at once, okay? You have several days to work on this. Now, I would like for you to send me a picture of your portrait by Tuesday, okay? So that's many days that you have to work on this. So whatever day it is that you are watching this video, think about how many days you have until Tuesday. Okay? And then plan out about how much you want to do each day. You can just do the eyes and then stop and take a break. Then come back and do the mouth, stop and take a break. But the advantage of taking a break is that you will give yourself and your hand time to fill up with energy again, and you can come back and do really careful work. So when you feel like you're getting tired and maybe your coloring isn't as neat as it could be, take a break. You know, if you just need to take a few minutes to walk around, walk outside for a minute and then come back, you can do that. Or take a break until the next day. Decide what works for you, okay? But I want you to have these done and send them to me on Tuesday. So think of how many days you have to work on this. I'm not sure what day you'll be watching the video, but if it's Thursday, then you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and even some time on Tuesday. So that's 6 days that you would have to work on it before you need to send it to me. So that's a long time for coloring, okay? So think about how much you want to do at a time. Okay, I think that those are all the tips I have for you regarding coloring. So go ahead, start your careful coloring. I cannot wait to see your finished portraits. It's one of my most favorite things. So I will be looking forward to that on Tuesday. Okay, happy coloring.